when we're thinking about all those things, we really need to think about what we're saying, how we're saying, especially because, of course, we know everything in 2021 is touchy-feely. I love coming on and talking about some of these controversial things because at the end of the day, right, we don't know this person and it's just our opinion. And that's what social media allows us to do. It allows us to share our opinion on a topic on how we feel. And the way we feel is you have this great American black queen who is on top of the world, and we want her to stay on top of the world. As a fan of the sport, I want to see her run the 100 in the Olympics. I want to see her smash records. I want to see her beat the Jamaicans. I want to see her lead and represent us in a way that typically we aren't represented, right? And so I'm allowed to be disappointed the same way you're allowed to be disappointed. And just because we're disappointed, just because we wish she didn't do it, just because, we may have an opinion on the fact that she did do it, and maybe if we were in that situation, we wouldn't do it, doesn't mean we don't have compassion or that we don't have understanding about it. But let's talk about the next topic. Let's talk about how with all the transitions and things that are happening in weed, which, by the way, weed was legal in Oregon, which is where she probably smoked it to fail that test. Why is that still a thing on the anti-doping policy? Why do we care about someone smoking weed versus taking performance enhancement drugs? And why isn't there a different type of punishment for someone who tested positive for a drug that does not have anything to do with enhancing her performance? So I think one of the issues that needs to be addressed now that this has hit a high profile person, because again, she's not the first person this season that's been hit with a 30-day suspension because she was smoking marijuana. And she won't be the last person. But the question is, because of the timing, right? There's people who have been suspended for 30 days this season. But it doesn't interfere and affect their ability to run in the biggest track meet, the biggest platform in track there is. And so that's where the problem is. That's what we're talking about. But also, I think we need to talk about the issue of mental health. And I know that is a very controversial topic right now. I know that is a hot topic that everybody's talking about. And I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm a financial advisor. And what I do know is everybody has their own battle with mental health, their own battle with depression, their own battle with coping mechanisms. And just because we may have an opinion on what somebody did doesn't mean we're judging their coping mechanisms or judging them for their mental health ability or their mental health illness or whatever they may be going through. And so one of the things that is really bothering me personally, which is why I felt I needed to go on live. And I'm not feeling like it's a personal attack on me. It's just bothering me personally because I see other people being attacked for having an opinion because someone who they want to root for, they can no longer root for because they're not eligible for the Olympics. So when we're looking at a controversial topic like mental health, I don't think we need to always attack a person because of something that they said. Like me, I went around Instagram and say, listen, why can't athletes just put the weed down for a month? So all of a sudden, does that mean I don't have compassion? Does that mean that I don't care about what Sha'Carri Richardson was going through mentally? Does that mean I don't understand or that I don't feel for her? That's not what that means. If someone goes on to say, well, why can't she understand her platform? Why can't she understand where she is? That is just a fan trying to get an understanding and trying to cope themselves with the situation of someone who they really wanted to watch, they can no longer watch. The same way when we see these NFL players all the time. I personally don't understand how you can continually get suspended from the NFL for smoking marijuana. Like, come on. Like, for me, it's like, you gotta figure it out. So at the end of the day, there's a couple of things that I think the Sha'Carri Richardson situation brings awareness to. One is we really have to look at and continually look at in all organizations ways to help our athletes, our students, our members, our family members on how to cope with things that are going on around them. Because everyone is dealing with something in some way, shape, or form. So many people have dealt with loss over the last 18 months, more than usual, right? So many people are dealing with, mental anxiety, new situations and new atmospheres with COVID, having to be stuck in a small 4-box area with different people, getting to know people that you thought you knew that you no longer know. There's so many things that are happening mentally with everybody. And that's the reason why, I feel it is inappropriate, improper, and unprofessional for people to jump on other people on social media for their opinion and automatically assume that they don't have compassion or understanding for that person's mental health. Because just because somebody disagrees with the fact that Sha'Carri Richardson was smoking weed doesn't mean that they don't have compassion with the fact that she lost her biological mother, right? Just because they may disagree with what she did doesn't mean that they don't care about what she's going through. And so I feel we need to really be careful in this 2021 time frame, this Me Too movement, this soft movement, this, everything I say got to be scrutinized movement, this I can't say what I feel because everybody's going to jump on me movement. I think we need to be careful as to jumping to conclusions about what somebody feels or thinks based on a sentence that they put on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I think we need to be careful about jumping to conclusions about how somebody feels based on a comment that they post on somebody else's post. Because one thing I can tell you is 5 to 15 words can in no way explain how people feel in most cases. And in a lot of cases, there's more to it, right? So I'm allowed to be disappointed. Other people are allowed to be disappointed. Other people are allowed to be angry for different reasons due to her situation. I'm angry for a couple of different reasons. One, I'm upset that I won't be able to see Sha'Carri kill the world in 100. But two, I'm continually upset as to how the media can control specific narratives. Specifically, how the hell does the media find out about someone's parent passing away before that person does? And how does the media not do their homework to ensure that that person knows about it before they bring it up to them? And my next question is, what was that initial interview actually for? Because I can tell you, if you was the person, media person out there that was interviewing me, and that's something that you shared with me that I didn't know, interview over, and I might be going to jail because I might be coming across that camera. Because to me, it doesn't make any sense that happened to her in that manner to begin with. And I think that in itself is not okay. What's also not okay is the way these articles are portraying her test failing. Because if you read right away, you think it's a PED. And that's what they want you to think. You want to know why? Because Jamaica was the first ones to put the information out. Let's remember that. Okay? Jamaica put they broke this news before it was broke all over the world. So, listen, I just wanted to come on and say to everybody, just be careful. Just be careful with jumping to conclusions. Just be careful with prosecuting people based on 5 to 15 words on social media, because none of us really know everybody's full thought process and full things behind it. And while you're prosecuting, so I seen in one group, this girl was digging into this dude because of the way he felt about the Sha'Carri Richardson situation. Call him all types of names. Tell him he's a waste of space on earth. All of these different things. Why do we have to stoop so low and now belittle another person and maybe put him in a depression spiral? You don't know what he's going through on the other side of that phone or that computer. You don't know what your words just did to him. So now you are part of the problem. And now the situation isn't about Sha'Carri anymore. It's about you having horrible character as a bad person. How the hell can you say something to somebody about that you don't even know, and all he did was give an opinion? I'm disgusted by reading some of these comments from other people. It's not happening to me, but I'm reading it. And I'm in awe, like, are you serious? This person is just voicing what they feel. I am a super track fan. I ran track in high school, all Catholic track runner, Division I track runner. My brother's a professional track runner. All I do is follow track. I am disappointed that I can't watch Sha'Carri Richardson in the Olympics. I'm allowed to be okay. I'm allowed to be disappointed. I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be upset. I'm also allowed to lump Sha'Carri Richardson together with all of the other athletes that continually failed anti-doping tests, continually fail drug tests, continually lose our opportunities and money because they're smoking weed. As an African American that is an absolute advocate for seeing us do better, get better, and move up in the world, it is heartbreaking to see us lose out on opportunities for things like marijuana. And it's okay that I can feel that way. I'm allowed to feel that way, okay? That's okay. You don't got to prosecute me for that. Doesn't mean I don't have compassion for Sha'Carri Richardson. Doesn't mean I don't understand the importance of mental health awareness and mental health illness. Doesn't mean I don't get that she maybe has weed as a coping mechanism. But let me also say something to y'all. Let's not sit here and put the wool over our eyes and play stupid like that's the first time Sha'Carri Richardson smoked weed, okay? Listen, that might be a coping mechanism for her. But let's not act like this girl, that's the only time she smoked weed. And also, listen, I'm not prosecuting the weed smoking. People, including myself, have done things that maybe we wish we didn't do in the past. So I'm not about to sit here also and throw stones while my house is made of glass. But I am going to give my opinion on how I feel as a track fan, as a former track athlete who really, really, really wanted to see this girl kill it on a major stage. And that's okay that I feel that way. That's okay that you feel that way. But what's not okay is you prosecuting, belittling, and degrading people that you don't even know with your Twitter fingers because they have that feeling. That's not okay. That's not okay. And the crazy thing is you're a hypocrite, right? Because you're with your Twitter fingers talking about mental health and you're screaming at somebody because they don't understand her coping mechanisms and the fact that she's going through the loss of her parents, but yet you're calling that person out of their name. You're belittling that person. You're by every word that you're saying, taking the confidence in the life away from the person that you're talking to because they have a small opinion that they put in 5 to 15 words and you call yourself a good person. Tell me where your character is. Tell me where your character is. That's what I want to know. I want to know how you feel about your character. I want to know what you think when you look in the mirror in the morning and at night. I want you to read back your comments. Okay? And you tell me if what you said was okay. And then you tell me if you really care about Sha'Carri Richardson. Or if you just wanted to take this opportunity to maybe because you're in a bad place, put someone else in a bad place. Because that's what I'm seeing a lot of with this situation. And that's not okay. So listen, mental health is a real thing. So I just wanted to come on and say, I stand by how I feel. I wish that our athletes as a whole, not just Sha'Carri Richardson, will understand the platform that they have, will understand the opportunity that they have, 21, 18, or 30. And also, I live by this statement, your network, your network is your net worth. I don't know who she has around her. Again, I don't know her, okay? But what I do know is that if she was my friend, I would be putting my hand around her in that situation and maybe trying to lead her to other coping mechanisms. Again, I'm not judging anybody. But what I will judge about Sha'Carri Richardson in a positive way is her grit and her ability to face up to what she did, come on a platform like today, like the Today Show, and say to the world, not only do I apologize, I know I did wrong, I know the decisions that I made. And by the way, I'll be back and I'm going to kick all y'all asses when I come back. And that is why the world loves Sha'Carri Richardson. That is why so many people stand behind her. And although, even if she contests this 30-day suspension, she may still lose. She's still going to have all the fans that she had before she smoked that weed, including myself. Yeah, I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm angry, but that don't mean she losing me as a fan. That I'm not judging her. I'm not judging her because my house ain't perfect. Which is why all y'all people out there in them Twitter fingers shouldn't be judging the people that has an opinion, because we're allowed to have an opinion. We're allowed to have our own feeling and our own thoughts. And if we're disappointed, don't tell me to not be disappointed. I'm disappointed. Don't tell this other person that he's wrong or that he's a waste of space on earth and that he doesn't have compassion and that he should go under his little rock, or that this other lady wouldn't understand because who is she? And coming at her weight. These are things that I'm seeing on social media. It's crazy. And it's like, yo, look in the mirror sometimes. Look in the mirror sometimes. And the last thing I'll say before I leave, this is the problem in the African American community. Every other community knows how to stand up for each other, knows how to be a strength mechanism for each other, knows how to be a brick and a foundation, knows how to be a ladder to help them get up the wall. In our community, we can't wait till someone who's so high in our community does something wrong so we can knock them down. But yet we call the other part of the world the problem when we're the problem too. So yeah, we're allowed to be disappointed. We're allowed to be angry. We're allowed to have our opinion. We're allowed to say we wish she didn't do this. But let's also make sure that we tell her, even though we're upset or we might be disappointed, we got you. And you better not lose your Nike endorsement, because then the black community will black out Nike, right? And you better not lose any other endorsements that you have, because then at that point, the black community should come together behind her in support and ensure that she keeps every endorsement and every dollar that she's earned from her natural talent and her natural ability. So listen, black people, let's stop beating up on each other. Let's encourage each other. But it's okay to give positive criticism to each other and it not be looked at as a bad thing. Let's build each other up. Let's support this girl in her suspension. I'm not saying I agree with it. I am not happy with it. Again, I am not happy with what happened. But what I do love is the way she stood up to it. She fessed up to it, and she's taking responsibility for it. So let our community support her in this. Let the world see how the black community can come together and support one of the best athletes in the world as she's going through a hard time. And let's stop beating up on each other. And for all y'all Twitter bullies, go somewhere. Put your phones up. Go do something productive. Stop beating up on someone else just because you're sad. I need you to find a different coping mechanism, because that coping mechanism is worse than any marijuana that anybody can smoke. All right? So keep your head up, believe in yourself, and just like Sha'Carri Richardson, we are all only one opportunity away from accomplishing our wildest dreams. One up, y'all. Equality. Talk to y'all soon.